What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I know it's been a while since I went ahead and actually discussed anything Battlefield with you guys. It's only because the next Modern Warfare game is coming out. Obviously, the beta is going to be releasing for PlayStation players very shortly, and also next week, the PC beta is going to be coming out along with Xbox. So there's going to be tons of news and information pouring through with Modern Warfare 2, so I wanted to go ahead and talk a ton about that stuff. But honestly, this news is very heartbreaking, and I think it's going to be troublesome, but also it might be positive for the future of this overall franchise. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard the news already, Lars, Mr. Battlefield, is leaving DICE after 22 years of working there. Now, of course, we got to start off and congratulate him. Thank him for all the years of working on these fantastic projects that we know and love all the way up until current date. And at the same time, like I said, congratulate him for moving on to different projects, because clearly, when it comes to game design or anything artistic out there, it doesn't matter, musician, content creator, sometimes you need something new to spark your interest in what you love again. Doing something for 22 years, that's a milestone right there. That's an extremely long time of only working on one style of game. And of course, working on something for so long will just naturally make you better at the task. You'll be able to work more efficiently, you'll work better, higher quality products, and you'll be able to work faster as well. So yeah, it is a massive downside that we're losing someone with so much experience, especially when these games have been getting absolutely slaughtered. But like I said, yes, it's nice to be able to naturally be in the groove of something and naturally be able to produce these things. But when it comes to any form of art, it becomes boring, it becomes tedious. And even though for him, designing Battlefield games probably takes no effort at all anymore with all of that experience, that's what takes away from the fun of being in that artistic field. It's always exciting, and like I said, it sparks your interest again with this craft when you are out of your comfort zone, when you have to relearn patterns, when you have to relearn ways of designing things. And when it comes to game design, putting yourself in a different atmosphere does just complete wonders for any individual out there. So of course, we should all be congratulating him, because this is a massive move in his life in general, and is going to hopefully allow him to, re-spark his interest within the gaming world. Now, the downside to all of this stuff is the very obvious thing, that all the OGs are pretty much gone at DICE. We have a brand new spanking fresh team working on the games that are being developed, and that stresses me out a tad bit, because even if it's just a couple or a few OGs working behind the scenes, being able to show them the ways of Battlefield, we don't have many at all. Now, we do have new faces, coming into this whole scene. We have people completely taking a massive direction when it comes to the campaign and the theme of the game, and also gameplay elements as well when it comes to multiplayer. But a lot of these individuals who are coming into the scene have never worked on a Battlefield project. We've had people come from Respawn, the original people who worked on Modern Warfare 2, going over to Titanfall, Apex Legends, and we also have people who worked in the Halo universe, building that completely up from the ground up. So we have, talented individuals who know what they're doing, but they haven't worked on Battlefield. It's going to be great to have all of their experience backing up this game, but not having OGs who've been working on this franchise in general since day one is going to, in my opinion, be a minor setback or even a massive one. I honestly think 2042 is the perfect example. Now, we can talk about Battlefield 5 because that game still had a ton of OGs working on that and developing that game. And it's honest, let's be real here. 2042 is now known as the worst Battlefield game, but I think Battlefield 5 around that time was definitely known as the worst game ever released in the whole franchise. But I'll be honest, especially after all of these updates and current date, it still has the vibes that Battlefield has to offer and deliver. 2042, on the other hand, I can't even tell that it's a Battlefield game. Battlefield 5 definitely had a ton of problems, a ton of issues, and it definitely wasn't my go-to Battlefield game to play, but it still felt like Battlefield, the atmosphere, the environment, the vibes that it has to offer. What we love about Battlefield, it's not just a pub stomping game, we play it for the environment that it has to offer. It's unlike any other game out there. You can go play a milsim, but it's not going to be as fast-paced and fun as a Battlefield title. This game truly is able to, take team play, take, military elements and implement it with arcadey, fun, fast-paced gameplay. It's fantastic. And Battlefield 5 still had that. They changed a lot, but they still had it down to the core. 2042 nowhere. It feels like I'm playing a completely different game. I'm going to be honest. It feels like I'm playing a completely different game, a completely different IP. It should not even be named Battlefield. And of course, if you follow me on this channel for a long time now, you know my opinions tend to be pretty equal. And if I change opinions, I'm very open about it. I don't lie about anything. We're all humans, and our opinions change here and there when different things come out, or, if companies try to change our mindset. If they do it successfully, I'm not going to, complain about it. I'm going to be honest and say that they did a pretty good job. And DICE has improved upon Battlefield 2042 with the updates that they're producing and the content drops. They've been really fun, actually. Every single season that comes out in this game brings me back to playing it. I'll be real. But the problem is that it doesn't keep me there. And the biggest problem is that it still feels like an artificial Battlefield game. Despite all the work that they put into it, despite, the bugs being completely polished off and slowly trickling in content here and there, at the end of the day, it feels like a Battlefield knockoff more than an actual new introduction into the Battlefield franchise. And I'll be honest, that's the downside of having a completely fresh team. Like I said, no more OGs are working here, so Battlefield 2042 is exactly the outcome when you have a ton of new people coming into a development team designing a game for a franchise that's been around forever with no OGs to tell them how it should actually be done. And it stresses me out because I worry about the future of this franchise. Yes, they brought in new OGs from other franchises, but they're not Battlefield OGs, So it makes me think that the future is going to get worse and worse, and they can tell us whatever they want. They can advertise it however they want. The advertisements, the budget they put into advertising is outstanding. But the budget they put into, actually training the developers to understand how to work the engine and what makes a good Battlefield game, it doesn't seem like they're putting as much effort into that compared to, advertising the game, putting out trailers and trying to, leech people in and finesse them out their money. But there still is one good thing out of this whole scenario here, and that is the community. Even though we lose OG developers constantly across the board in all of our favorite franchises, there will always be people who absolutely love the games they're playing. There are Call of Duty heads, Battlefield heads, BR heads. Some people have been obsessed with Apex since it launched, Fortnite. There's always going to be OGs who have been playing your game forever, the whole franchise across the board. They know what they're talking about. I don't want these new developers to think that we're absolutely crazy. And it doesn't seem that way. Honestly, with how they are improving upon Battlefield 2042, they're literally fixing everything we're talking about. They're bringing back classes. We got to see how that's going to, pan out. They already are changing all of the cosmetics. They look fantastic in this game. If there's one thing that I can always give props for within Battlefield 2042, one is how they handle their battle pass. The challenge system is fantastic. And two, the cosmetics. They are just out of this world, and they're exactly what I want out of a game like this. Same thing with Call of Duty. I wish Call of Duty took this type of approach. The two new maps are absolutely fantastic. They're amazing, and the reworks of the previous maps are pretty decent, I'll be honest. So they are listening to us. I just hope it stays this way, because truly, I really hope they understand that the OGs, they've been playing these games, religiously. Game developers, yes, they do play their game, but I'm going to be honest, if you put yourself in their shoes, just think about it. Think about it. You are sitting there developing this game, 8+ hours every single day, going overtime almost every single day. Sometimes it's nice to take a break from, looking at that individual game. So they don't always touch their projects, but when it comes to the community, there are some people out there who will literally play Battlefield on a daily basis across the board. People love this franchise. They will guide you in the right direction if you are willing to listen. We will not steer you wrong in any way, shape, or form. You just have to understand everything we say and let us help you. Don't keep us out of the loop. That right there is single-handedly the worst possible thing that you could ever do, because as long as you incorporate the community with you along the whole process, we can give you the best possible feedback for your games to help improve upon the formula. And of course, you don't have to take all of our ideas. None of us are game developers. We don't sit down there and code these games together. We are just longtime fans. You can look across the board, you can take some opinions, you don't have to take any opinions, but at least include us in the atmosphere of the game, because like I said, I truly think this will improve your overall game, and it will definitely bring back a ton of people who have left the franchise. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat me, this tweet do so, I have Twitter and Discord, both in the link down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.